or had freedom. You know, so Philadelphia was free in the 1800s. They had passed the gradual abolition law, and then within a few years, everybody who lived there had to be free with no such thing as slavery no more. Detroit was different for a couple of reasons. One, you had those French and British people here who were allowed to continue practicing slavery, but it was part of the Northwest Territory, so no new people could practice slavery. So you had that issue. And then on the other thing is, Detroit sits on international borders next to a whole another country. Because when the United States defeated the British, they took control over this, but they did not take control over Canada. Okay, so whatever laws or ordinances we pass in Canada have a profound effect on what happens in Detroit. So Detroit is unlike other cities. So that's another one of my people. So Detroit is unlike most northern cities. Like I said, most northern cities, most of them by the mid-1800s, by the 1815, 1820, most northern cities, slavery was over. Okay? And the few that did not end slavery continued it until the Civil War. They didn't end it. They didn't end it until the Civil War happened. But Detroit is in a weird position because the French and British are allowed to continue practicing slavery even though it's the United States territory and it's supposed to be free. But the French and British residents who were living here prior to it becoming the United States, they could continue practicing slavery because you got that here. But Canada ends slavery before the United States. So, but at one time Canada had slavery. You got people escaping from Canada to come to Detroit to get free, and people escaping from Detroit to go to Canada to get free at the same time.
Wow. So the people who were enslaved by the British
in Canada
were
here
were escaping over
to
there.
Canada because Canada ended slavery before the United States and before Detroit. And you had people in Canada, you had people in Detroit going there. Because once they got there, they were in another country, they were free. And the United States didn't have any extradition treaty with the country they just fought a war with. So it wasn't like they were gonna work this out and send the people back. But on the flip side, you had people from Canada who was enslaved in Canada coming to the United States because the Northwest Ordinance said this was free territory. So people was coming here. Okay. So a case occurred in 1807. Actually 1806, the first case happened. Another one happened the year after. We're gonna talk about the 1806 case first. So in 1806, you had two black people who escaped from Canada and made it to Detroit. Of course, the Canadian slave owners wanted them back. Judge Augustus Woodward was the administrator of this city at that time. And we know he was sent here by Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was a slave owner, owned 300 Africans on his plantation, Monticello, one of whom he was raping, Sally Hemings. So Woodward says that because of the Northwest Ordinance, we can't send them back. They're free. There's no new slavery. So they're new residents, so they can't be sent back. They're free. But these two black people, Africans who escaped from slavery in Canada, are declared free by Augustus Woodward. Okay? Which is awesome. Two black people, Hannah and Peter Dennison, hear about this story. They're enslaved. Originally by the Macomb family. Yep, that Macomb. Like William and Alexander, like Macomb County. Yep. Mm-hmm.